Well, there's been a lot of talk about things slowing down, calls not coming in, and handymen not having any work. So let's talk a little bit about that. So let's rewind the time a little bit back to 2020. Okay, COVID happened in 2020 and a lot of people either lost their job or decided that they wanted more freedom. So there was a lot of people entering the handyman industry in 2020. And during that time when you had an influx of handymen entering the handyman workforce, you also had an increase in handyman work that needed to be done by the homeowners. COVID happened in early 2020 and people started working from home. So instead of their normal lifestyle, they had what they had at home. And since they were working from home, they started seeing those cracks in the ceiling or the overdue maintenance or things like that. Things that they could live with before because they actually went out of the house every single day to go to work. But now, since COVID caused them to start working from home, they had all this handyman work that needed to be done. So all this influx of handymen entering the handyman industry was super great, super timely. You had a lot of handyman work that needed to be done and a lot of handyman to do that work. So it's simple supply and demand. We had a huge demand, we had a huge supply. Everything was going great, we were booming. But what about now? It's 2023, handyman calls aren't coming in like they used to. What are we to do? Well, it is true that the handyman industry has changed, because people have now started going back to work, so that has caused the demand to diminish. And you're also having things like inflation, bad economy, things like that, which is causing the demand to go down as well. The supply is still up there. There's still a whole lot of people that are operating as handyman, but the demand has diminished. So here's what that means for us. That means that a lot of handymen are going to go out of business. But I want to point out a difference here. There's a huge difference between a chuck and a truck, as we'll call them, and an honest handyman. So an honest handyman is someone who tries to be professional in everything they do, works with integrity, has fair and honest pricing, cares about the client. And a chuck and a truck is someone who's really not concerned about the client really all that much. They're more concerned about the paycheck, and that's why they left their earlier job to kind of join in on the bust of the handyman industry back in 2020. It's kind of like the gold rush, right? People heard that they were making money, so they're like, man, I need to get my hands on that money, so let's go and mine some gold. That's exactly what you saw in 2020. So my solution for as we are right now, things have slowed down, things are not as robust as they were in the past 3 years, this is what we need to do. If you haven't already started doing it, you need to establish yourself as a brand in your area so that you are the go-to handyman in your area. Again, like we said, there's a difference between a chuck and a truck and an honest handyman. An honest handyman really cares about their clientele. An honest handyman really cares about the work that they do. So an honest handyman is someone who sits back and creates a brand, doesn't necessarily worry about the jobs right now, but they worry about the big picture. So what's the big picture going to look like? Yeah, maybe in 2020 you were doing great, you had your best year ever, but what's 2023 look like? Yeah, maybe 2023 right now you're struggling a little bit, but what's 2024 and 2025 going to look like? Now, one of the rules for marketing is that it takes at least 90 days for your marketing to pay off. Now, I want to equate this to brand awareness as well, because it's really like a snowball. So a snowball starts out pretty small. As it rolls down the mountain, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you are focused on building a brand and creating brand awareness for yourself and marketing, the snowball is only going to get bigger and your reach is only going to get deeper into the clients that you want to reach. So there are a few different people who have touched base on this particular topic. Ray at Bulletproof Handyman, he had a great video on this. I would highly recommend you check that out. His solution is really to go after property managers. I would totally agree. I think property managers are going to be a great thing to invest your time and effort into, but I also think that you should not count out the homeowners, because there's a lot of homeowner demographics that are going to need handyman work done, and you can establish yourself as the go-to handyman to do that work. There's also a few other YouTubers, the YouTube Handyman with a U, and then I believe Daryl the Finisher also commented on this particular topic. Now, I think it's a serious topic because I think things have slowed down. So I want to share a story that I heard from a friend who he's actually a realtor. Hey friends, I wanted to interrupt this video real quick and let you know that I've created an Amazon store with a whole bunch of links to tools that I highly recommend and tools that we use every single day in our handyman business, and also handyman business books. Books have been drastic to the growth of my business, and I would highly recommend that you check that out. So I will put a link in the description below where you can gain access to that Amazon store and see everything that I recommend. Also, I wanted to let you know that you can schedule a free consultation call with me over at handymanjourney.com/coaching. I look forward to talking with you soon. Let's get back to today's video. He was saying that back in 2020, things were so hot. Like, houses were flying off the market. So everyone and their brother was becoming a realtor because it was super easy to sell a house. You didn't even have to try. And he says now things are so slow. Like, it's super hard to sell a house compared to what it was. So a lot of those people who joined the realtor market back in 2020 and 2021 are now dropping out and going to find a day job, a different job than selling homes, because things have actually gotten hard. And he's been in this industry since about 2015. So he knows what the ups and downs look like. So the way that he explains things now is that you actually have to try again to sell a house, which is exactly like the handyman industry. Back in 2020, 2021, and 2022, you didn't even really have to try to get handyman work. There was people going around with word of mouth only, and they were getting so many calls. Like, you don't even have to try to get the phone to ring. The phone is just gonna ring. Whereas now in 2023, you actually have to try to get that phone to ring. There are many things that you need to do to focus on getting that phone to ring, but it's actually going to take some cash. It's going to take some cash to start investing in marketing to get that phone to ring. It's something that you didn't necessarily have to do back in the COVID era, but times have changed now. Like we said earlier, calls have definitely slowed down, and you definitely need to make more of an effort to get your name out there. But here's what you can do in the future. And for me, this is really what matters more than what happens now, is how you can establish yourself in the future as the go-to handyman so that you can ride through the waves of the up and down economy. Because at the end of the day, this has happened before. This is nothing new if you look at it from the big picture. Economy goes up, economy goes down, economy goes up, economy goes down. It's always going to be changing. So what we need to do now, if you haven't started it before, like we said, is start working on creating a brand for your business. Start establishing yourself as the go-to handyman. Start marketing. Start going door to door, passing out flyers. Start putting out yard signs at every single job that you do. Start advertising on Google, advertise on Facebook, advertise on Nextdoor. Be everywhere that people are so that they can find you and they can call you next time they need a handyman. The best mindset to think about when you're thinking about marketing is that it's not so much about securing that job right now. Because someone may get a flyer from you but not call you this very second, but they might put that flyer in their junk drawer, and then 10 months down the road, they open up that junk drawer and they're like, oh yeah, this handyman, and there's a 10% off coupon in here or whatever it is, and I'm gonna give them a call. Marketing is all about getting your business to the top of your client's mind. And that's really what it's all about. So times are tough, things have slowed down, but I don't think that things are as bad as people think they are. It's about normal of what it was before COVID. So really what we have to do now is to try a little bit, like we did before, to actually get Handyman Jobs in the door. And if you're interested in learning more about this handyman brand awareness and building a brand for your business, check out all these videos on my channel. We talk very in-depthly about growing a handyman business that can really withstand any economy. There's a few different things that we're gonna pivot to do to kind of adjust to this new economy. One thing is, we're going to start working with some property managers and things like that. But by and large, we're going to still keep investing. When times get tough, when calls get slower, that means you need to put more fuel on the fire, more marketing money in your marketing agency, and keep it going. So that when times get better, you're up higher than the rest.